And so you see, Your Honors, my client, Mr. Gregory Lee Johnson, is in no regards a menace to society, as he is allowed by the First Amendment, was practicing his right to protest and speech, and yet was unjustly tried and convicted to a prison sentence of 1 year and one fine of $2,000 for doing so. His action did not threaten nor physically injure anyone present. He did in no way breach the peace of the town for acting for his beliefs in a constitutional peaceful act of protest.
I see. And what exactly was the defendant's motive in the burning of the flag?
His act of burning the American flag was a way to protest, to express his displeasure with the legislation passed under the President Reagan administration and his disdain with the nomination of President Reagan for a second term in office in 1984 election year. My client was one of the many groups of protesters that visited in the Dallas City Hall that day to highlight their displeasure, not to act out blatant animosity against the entirety of the nation.
For what reason did the defendant have the flag, and for what reason has his act created so many legal offenses?
My client was given the flag by one of the other petitioning members of the party, who had taken it from one of the buildings surrounding the City Hall area in Dallas. As for the offense, Dallas law states that it prohibits the discretion of any object representing the USA and any of its parts. That being said, it limited the rights of the people to free speech for critical analysis of the U.S. government and the expression of disdaining opinion.
Thank you. That would be all for now. You may now take your seat. The prosecution may now speak on behalf of the state of Texas in the case of Texas versus Johnson.
Your Honors, if you would please direct your attention to the screen.
Mariana Jones! Eric Gardner! Let the motherfucker run!
Come on, he's great! Let's get out of here.
Okay, girlie!
Eric Connor!
This here is a first-hand video of what occurred that day at the protest, showing the clear disdain and disregard for the sanctity of the United States of America. The defendant is acting of malicious intent to undermine all that this nation represents. The flag is a symbol of freedoms and the powers allowed to each and every citizen. And although no one person has been physically hurt or threatened, this act has hurt the morale and has given great offense to the American people.
Please explain the legal point in which this act has violated and the reason as to why a flag has brought so much strife.
Well, Your Honor, Texas law prohibits anyone from damaging, defacing, burning, or otherwise mutilating the U.S. or Texas flags on the grounds that doing so symbolizes an individual's disagreement with the freedoms protected by the American government, and acts as a starting point for inevitable violence and a breach of peace to the American society.
On those grounds, Texas claims that items representing the United States of America and its individual states are given priority value over other items in that their destruction as a political statement and otherwise is deemed an offense of the highest order?
Yes, that is so. As an object representing the freedoms of America, its protection preservation is indispensable as a way to express the safety of the nation.
Thank you. The court will now recess for lunch. We shall arrive to the final verdict at 1500. Okay. You good? Okay, I'm going to continue. Welcome back. The court recess has ended at 1500.
The court verdict shall now be read in the court case of Texas versus Johnson.
In a 5-4 vote of majority decision, the court has voted to rule in favor with the defense, stating that the Texas law is unconstitutional in that it disregards and undermines the freedoms protected in the Bill of Rights. Amendment 1, Section 1, which upholds the rights to freedom of speech, petition, assembly, religion, and press. The defendant's actions are justified as using the flag as a form of expressive demonstration of his frustration with the American political sphere. If there is a better underlying the First Amendment, it is that the government may not prohibit